Every year for the last decade, someone's told me crypto is about to replace the stock market entirely. And every year, I watch the same pattern play out with people who took that seriously with money they couldn't afford to lose. I'm not here to tell you crypto is a scam. It's not. I'm not here to tell you the stock market is risk-free either. It's not that either. What I am going to do is give you an honest answer to a question most content in this space won't touch directly, because taking a real position costs you half your potential audience. Here it is anyway. If your actual goal is building wealth, not making a quick trade, not gambling on a narrative, actually building wealth over a decade or two, one of these two vastly outperforms the other as a primary vehicle. I'll tell you which, and more importantly, why, with real numbers. I'm Mr. Kraft. Let's get into it. Start with what each thing actually is, because people conflate this constantly. A stock is a claim on a piece of a real business, one that generates revenue, employs people, and in many cases pays you a portion of its profits directly through dividends. When you buy shares in an S&P 500 index fund, you own a sliver of roughly 500 companies that, collectively, produce actual goods and services people pay for every day. The value isn't just belief. It's underlying cash flow. Crypto, for the most part, is different in a way that matters enormously for this conversation. Most cryptocurrencies don't generate cash flow. There's no earnings report. There's no dividend. The value of most tokens is determined almost entirely by what someone else is willing to pay for it next, which is a real market, don't get me wrong, but it's a fundamentally different kind of value than a business generating profit. Now, here's where I have to be precise, because overstating this in either direction makes you dishonest. Bitcoin specifically has behaved more like a scarce digital asset with genuine institutional adoption over the past several years. It's not identical to a random altcoin, and lumping every crypto asset into one bucket is lazy analysis. But even Bitcoin doesn't produce cash flow. Its value proposition rests entirely on scarcity and continued demand, not underlying business performance. That's a meaningfully different risk profile than owning shares of a profitable company. Let's talk numbers, because vague vibes don't help anyone make a decision. The S&P 500's long-run average annual return sits around 10% nominal, closer to 7% after inflation, going back nearly a century. That's not a guess. That's a century of actual data across wars, recessions, and every kind of market condition imaginable. Bitcoin's volatility, by comparison, has included multiple drawdowns exceeding 70 to 80% from peak to trough, 2018, and again in 2022. An index fund has never done that. Not once, not in any rolling multi-decade period in its history. Here's the part that actually matters for wealth building specifically, though, not just risk tolerance. Wealth building is a function of consistent, compounding growth over long time horizons. Volatility is the enemy of consistent compounding, because massive drawdowns require massive recoveries just to break even. A 50% loss requires a 100% gain just to get back to where you started. That math alone should tell you which asset class is structurally better suited to a 20 or 30-year accumulation strategy. Let me give you a real comparison, because this isn't theoretical. I know two people who started investing around the same time, back in 2017, with similar amounts. Call them Priya and Marcus. Priya put $15,000 into a total market index fund and left it alone, adding a modest amount monthly, ignoring the noise entirely. Marcus put a similar amount into a mix of altcoins based on what was trending in his group chats. Marcus had one incredible year. His portfolio was up over 400% at one point in early 2021. He also watched roughly 85% of that gain evaporate within 18 months, and he sold near the bottom in a panic, locking in the loss for real. Priya's account, unglamorously, sat around $34,000 by the time I last checked. Marcus's account, after the entire round trip, was worth less than what he originally put in. Same starting point. Wildly different emotional experience. One outcome you can actually retire on. One you can't. Now, I want to be fair here, because I think the honest answer isn't crypto is worthless. Some crypto exposure, kept small, and I mean genuinely small, low single digits of your total portfolio, can make sense as a speculative allocation for someone who's already built their real foundation elsewhere. That's a completely different conversation than, should this be how I build my wealth? The mistake isn't owning any crypto. The mistake is treating a speculative asset like it's your retirement plan. Here's my actual verdict, stated plainly, because I think you deserve a straight answer instead of a wishy-washy, do your own research cop-out. For building real, compounding wealth over decades, the stock market, specifically broad, diversified index funds, remains structurally superior. Not because crypto can't make anyone money. It clearly has, for some people, at some moments. But wealth building isn't about the best possible outcome. It's about the most reliable one, repeated consistently, for long enough that compounding does the actual work. If you take one thing from this video, take this: the goal was never to find the asset with the highest ceiling. It was always to find the one with the most reliable floor, held long enough to matter. If this gave you a clearer answer instead of a fence-sitting one, subscribe. This channel is built around real positions, backed by real numbers, not neutral summaries that leave you exactly where you started. And tell me, where's your money actually sitting right now? Stocks, crypto, both? Let me know in the comments.